They played a quick game. AJ had the white pieces, Max had the black pieces. AJ started off with e4, Max played e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, d3, and then d5. D5, this is, I don't know, it's actually okay. It looks weird. It very rarely is played in the book. But it's okay. It's one of these moves that looks bad to me, and I can't figure out why. I tried to analyze it, couldn't find anything wrong with it. Well, anyway, so AJ went ahead and took it. E takes D, knight takes D, and then this was a mistake. It's a minor mistake. She took the knight with the bishop. That develops Max's queen. You see, the Max's queen is sitting down here. What she's doing is she's got a developed piece and a developed piece here. Max has these two developed pieces. And when she takes, she loses one of her developed pieces, and his developed piece gets replaced by the queen. So she's just helping his development, undeveloping herself, and allowing him to maintain his development that he has. So this move here of taking the knight with the bishop was a mistake, in my opinion. And the computer didn't like it either. Knight c3 was played by white. Okay, so she gets another tempo on the queen, which is good. Okay, so now she's going to be able to catch up in her development, perhaps. Queen d8. This, again, not a great move. Let's see. What is a good move here? Well, queen d8's okay. I would have rather see something else get developed. Maybe do something like this. Bishop b4, which pins the knight to the king, and now she can't take back. Can't take, rather, the queen. So she's going to have to do something to get out of the pin. And then you just take the knight, and now the queen is okay, right? Okay. That might have been a better approach. You keep the development lead rather than retreating like you did. But a minor difference. It's fine. Okay, so then AJ castled anyway. Bishop c5. I didn't like... Oh, wait a minute. That was the wrong bishop here. Bishop c5. Where is that? Yeah, that's all right. It's a good developing move. It's not a good square. Bishop e3. I like this. This is good. So she's going to exchange off her undeveloped bishop for a developed bishop. It's all about development here, right? And that's what happens here. It's a good move. And then Max castles. d4. And then we have e takes d, bishop f5. It's black's turn. Yeah, this is the one I was not liking. I saw it earlier. Yeah, if you're going to develop your bishop, go ahead and do something with it. There's no threat here. The pawn is protected. If you go out to here, perhaps, at least you're pinning the knight. So whenever you develop, try to get another use for your move in as well. You want to have more than one reason for every move, if you can. And in this case, you have the possibility of going here, so why not go ahead and do that. d5. Okay, this is a nice move. Gains the tempo on the knight, pushes the pawn forward, gaining space. So Max goes back here, and then knight g5. So now she's going in for the attack on the castled king. Right, she's got a lot of pieces coming at you. You got the pawn and the knight. The queen's going to come in. c6. Okay. And then this was a mistake that AJ made. I would have liked to have seen this, right? d6. Why is that a good move? Because Max can just move the knight away, right? But if he does, that knight is doing an important job. That knight is protecting the bishop. So if she brings her pawn here, kicking the knight away, then she wins a piece. Okay, so that's really good. So what's the other option for him, for Max, if he's being attacked here? Well, she's going to have to protect the bishop some other way. So he can move the bishop back to here. Now you take the knight, and so now you're up a knight for a pawn. So that's what I would have done in this position, rather than what she did, which is to take that pawn that Max tempted you with. Don't actually see the purpose of that move, but it did work. Okay, so she takes with the pawn, and he takes back. And I don't think he needed to do that, but all right, whatever. He took back. So queen h5. So AJ's on the attack. What's the threat? Give you a couple seconds. You can pause the video if you need to find the threat. I'm sure. Well, actually, it's not an immediate threat. As long as it's bishop's here, it's not. There's no checkmating threat, but it's sort of lingering in there. The idea of checkmate on h7. So h6 comes out. He's trying to prevent that. Knight f3. So the knight has to go away. Rook c8. Now this move I didn't understand. If you're going, maybe it was a mouse slip. I'm going to assume it was a mouse slip. Sure, why not? This isn't where the rook goes. The rook goes here, right? Because you want to be on the open file. If you're looking at the back of a pawn, you're looking at the back of a pawn. That doesn't give you much mobility. But that's where Max went. Rook a d1. AJ's rook move was much more beneficial, putting the hit on the queen. So now Max has to make a decision here. What's he going to do with the queen? Probably the best thing to do is to get out with tempo. Queen b6 check, and then AJ would have to move her king or do something. And that does give up the file, but instead he tried something else. This was the blunder that cost him the game. He's going to counterattack. Okay. There's one major problem with that. That pawn was doing something important there. It was protecting that pawn. So when you move it forward, what did AJ do? She takes the pawn. Okay. So now you've got the same situation all over again. You've still got your queen under attack. So that move was disastrous. Queen b6 check. He finally does do this, getting she backs her king into the corner as promised. Rook c d8. So now he puts the rook on the right file, on a right file perhaps. But things are getting a little late. See if you can spot the mating combination here. Pause the video if you need to. Don't start the video until you can see the mating combination. All right. What did you find? AJ found it. Knight g5. Right? Threatening mate on this square right here. Okay. Rook takes d1. Well, it doesn't really matter what he does. And we have checkmate. All right. Good game, AJ. Let's see here. Let's go over this quickly again. We've got just regular. What is this? Two knights defense, modern opening. This is basically, Juco piano. It's the same sort of stuff that you see every time. This move is a little different, bringing the pawn to d5, and yet I can't find anything wrong with it. This was not a good move, bringing out Max's queen, but he retreated, so I guess we've got a couple mistakes here. Then we exchanging bishops. This is good. Castling, good. Pawn. Bishop comes out to maybe the wrong square. Then we have the knight, or the pawn driving the knight around. Went to the wrong square there. Could have won a piece. She goes on the attack, trying to checkmate him. And what happened here? What was the move? Oh, the rook comes out. I've got too many arrows. Hard to see what's going on. Oh, another thing that's wrong with this move, when he brought this pawn forward, is it blocked the protection of the bishop of that square. So now, see that? The bishop was protecting the square previously. I've got too many arrows. But when he pushes the pawn forward, that is no longer protected. So when he comes forward here, when AJ comes forward, she comes forward. Is the queen, AJ's queen, that's she and she. When she comes forward here, then we're going to have the possibility of checkmate without being defended by the bishop. All right, so that was really one big blunder in the whole game, Max. That cost it to you. Up to this point, the computer says you are even in, yeah, completely even. Looking at the numbers here, yeah, that move, this, and then the numbers go completely haywire with that move. But you, at this point, you are perhaps even winning a little bit. Yeah, it gives you about half a pawn advantage. All right. So that's where we are. I'll see you next week. See you Wednesday. Signing off. Bye.